Jeff.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Day number 6?
It feels like we've been here for 3 years.
I think
This has been a very long time of staying inside, doing work.
Yeah.
You know, we're used to doing work one time a week.
Yeah. We did make the choice to make this a daily podcast.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to Sunday when we're going to be calling 3 fans of ours.
Oh my God.
Who subscribe to our newsletter and let us know one fun fact about themselves.
And for all of you fans out there who are waiting a phone call on Sunday, just know we're recording on Saturday. So
yeah. By the way, a special shout out to Sair, who is a friend and,
Yes.
and is a fan, a supporter.
Yeah.
And he tweeted something to the effect of how he hopes that God, you know, provides and that Eric and Jeff call him, even though he didn't give a fun fact and did not respond to the newsletter.
Because you said in the newsletter, we will call you if you give us a fun fact.
Yeah.
Well,
Sair, that's pretty arrogant.
we will see. Shout out to all of our friends over.
Maybe God will provide
at the Officially Street podcast.
Yes.
Jeff, we do have a very fun podcast here today. Mm-hmm. Dave and A-Trak, what's happening?
What's good?
What up?
Guys, this has been it's just been a lot. So how are you guys holding up? Are you both in Los Angeles right now?
Yeah,
so
we are.
So that means that it's like complete lockdown, right?
It is. Yep, same as you guys. We could still take the car and go somewhere. You know, I might try to go to the studio because it's just getting in Alain's car and not being in contact with anyone. But yeah, no one's going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm curious. Have you guys seen, like, there's been a lot of people who have been like, hey, I wonder if drive-ins are still a thing and if we can make it a thing. Would you want that experience, even if you're not like messing with other people, to be in a car to watch a movie in a parking lot with other people?
I don't know. I don't think it's unsanitary, but I don't know if I want to do that. We're kind of just like, I feel like part of this whole thing, like half of it's a mental game and just like, you know, feeling as okay as possible with doing everything at home. So, you know, trying to just commit to that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, so Eric and I have been inside basically for the majority of 11 days.
Yeah.
And today I would say I like broke.
Yeah,
like,
today was the first day where it was just like,
yeah.
Is this a fever? Is this like, you know,
is this chills? Like, and so we both went to urgent care and we got tested for just regular flu. And a fever.
No fevers.
No fever.
No flu. So we're good.
Yeah, we're very chill.
No scurvy?
No scurvy.
Well,
you guys really went to urgent care today?
Oh yeah. We went to City MD down the street.
Why, you weren't feeling well or what?
No.
So, yeah, we were on the phone with Clark Kent, and in the middle of the interview, independently, we both felt like crazy. And then we went to the urgent care, and they were like, "You're absolutely fine."
And by the way, as you guys know, this is so like Upper West Side Jew, like typical,
that's
like
hypochondriac shit.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But like we had been going so great for a good 10 days, and then it was just like, maybe not.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot like, you know, below the surface on all levels. Like, you know, this is not even like a huge example, but like this morning I was like, you know what, I should do some stretches, and I started stretching, and I was like, holy shit, I'm like incredibly tense, and like I wasn't even really feeling it until I went to do that, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
It takes a toll on the body. Like I've been like, I'm a light sleeper, and I've been passing out like at 11 p.m. like conking out with my clothes on, all the lights on. You know, it's just, I think everybody's having different physiological reactions to it, and one of them might be also thinking we're sick. Like it's
absolutely, and I think that it's probably not helpful to see on any level Trump on television being Trump. You know, like I think there's a real like negative
my
reaction.
My body's like the stock market. Yeah. It just goes down every time that Trump gets on TV.
Yeah, it's been a lot on the soul.
It's bad for the morale to see it, and it gets even more stressful. And then, you know, you had De Blasio and Cuomo bickering about the lockdown in New York, like the shelter in place in New York. It is super stressful, and I actually, you know, it was even hard for us to leave because we wanted to stay in New York. And I felt like, you know, selfishly, I was like, if we could be in a place where there's a studio, it might be better for us.
Well, how do you guys, because we've been wrestling with this too. Like, we're artists. You guys are artists. How do you take your art and put that like above? Like, is it selfish to be an artist in this day and time?
I don't think so.
I think it depends how you are presenting what you're doing. You know, I think if there's a way to present it in a way that's not tone deaf, in a way that's like in tune with what's going on with other people. A lot of people are waiting for songs to come out or for, you know, podcasts to listen to. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of all of that. Everybody's, you know, let's start a podcast. I mean, you know, my whole thing is like, it's just about how I think it's about the way you present it and to be sensitive to what other people may be feeling in this time. That's why for me, like, I was, you know, on my stories, I was complaining about people posting recipes all day, because I know people do that with good intentions, but it can also make others feel unproductive, or make others feel like my first couple of days of quarantine, I showered at 5 p.m. I was all messed up. So you think I want to read a rise and grind, live, laugh, love yoga routine?
Right.
Stretch at 11 p.m. and make an infusion, make a watermelon infusion before 12. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to read that. I already feel like crap.
Yeah.
It's going to make me feel more like crap. So, you know, I just think it's about being sensitive and not going too heavy on the self-promotion.
Yeah, you know what?
I know that.
You know what's wild
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry. The conversations that we've been having, it's been like a good tenor, right? You have like a mix for some people. Some people are just like very, like you say, get up early. I'm gonna get to my work. I'm gonna like really commit to this thing, even though I'm in these four walls. But then off the camera, I had a conversation with our cousin who lives up in Seattle, and she has a young son, and we were interested in having her on the podcast just because
she works in the medical field. Like,
yeah,
you know.
it's a different, it's a different perspective on a number of levels. And she was like, you know what, and she's like, my headspace is just not there, and the situation up here is for their family and their areas is pretty grim, and it was super sobering to hear that. And I was like, yo, Jeff, after that 15-minute phone call with her, which I was just trying to like, you know, really wrap my head around, I was like, are we not doing the right thing? And is the tone wrong here?
Yeah, I think that's a valid question to ask, but you guys are providing entertainment and uplifting entertainment. And I think there's a big difference between that and this kind of prescriptive thing of like, well, you know, you could do 80 squats every morning, and here's how to make, you know,
make coronavirus like work for you or whatever. And it's just like, you know, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
yeah, that really gets to me.
The real question is there a Rumi quote for this?
Yeah,
right. First of all, the sense of time is so warped.
Oh my God.
That's the part that's still really weird.
Yeah.
And, Dave and I flew to LA on Monday, and I was really excited to be at my house where I have, a proper studio set up, and there's all these like ideas for scratch routines that I've been wanting to get to and to start filming.
And our music.
Yeah.
And our production and wrapping up Duck Sauce songs and all this stuff. And, on the way here, I was giving myself a little sort of work schedule, and I had to get used to the fact, once we got here and we were like going through just, going to buy groceries, which feels like a, recon mission. And then you come home exhausted because you've been wearing gloves and worrying about germs and shit. And then you don't want to work for another hour or two. Like just going through the flow of those days and, realizing that whatever little schedule I gave myself is going to get rejigged, and that's okay. And I think a lot of people are probably going through, like, everybody's going to have their own rhythm and their own timeline, and there's no right or wrong.
I think in terms of messaging, like like you said, we're all artists and we do what we do and we present what we present to the world. But I think that, like, as you said about your cousin, there's a message of support that I think should prevail. And that's for the people that are on the front lines, whether they be, working in public health or forced to go to work during this time, working at a grocery store, working in a warehouse, or also the parents that are home with kids.
Yeah.
Like all the parents that I speak to, that are home with kids and teenagers, they're losing their minds. Like, it must be so hard because like kids don't really understand what's going on, and it's harder for them to wrap their heads around it, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, we've got it easy compared to them. So I think a large part of what we can do is just like send words of encouragement and support.
And if you're like, you know, if you guys are doing the podcast and we're making music and we're each kind of like making these little pieces of content. On one hand, I think that, you know, one thing that's definitely positive that we shouldn't forget is that these are things that, you know, we all do that we genuinely love. And I think if you look at you guys' fan base, and I think if you look at me and Dave's audiences too, I think our audiences know that, you know, more than half the reason why we do what we do is because we genuinely enjoy it. And I think there's something...
What's the other half?
Trying to get a Dorito sponsorship.
Right.
Yeah,
That's fun.
Right? But hopefully there's something contagious about that. But I think what we can all keep in mind is as we put things out, whether it's literally like a 15-second story or a 2-hour podcast, you know, I think the key thing is for it to not come across like, hey, here's the thing that you guys can do or that you should do. Like, it's, you know, people shouldn't be made to feel like what they're already doing is wrong. It's just
not enough,
right?
Yeah. Like they're
it's
less
like,
than.
Hey, I did this. If you want to listen to it, cool.
Like you know, my girl was like, "Well, you're an artist or you're a musician. I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
I don't have a creative outlet."
Yeah.
So I think it's also like, I just think it's about the empathy of like, yo, we can also be very, very, very attuned and sympathetic to people who don't necessarily have a creative outlet and who are really, really, really kind of at a loss in isolation, and be like, hey, here's something for you to enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to wake up at 8 a.m. You don't have to know how to make zucchini noodles.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a yoga practice or 2 or 3 or meditation on Instagram Live. Hopefully this will distract you. A couple hours, you'll have a smile on your face.
Yeah.
And then just go and watch TV. Like,
by the way, you can spend the whole day just talking to your friends, and that's just equally fine. I think like the main thing is everybody just has to maintain.
That's it. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
I was thinking about this morning. Like, this is a physical health pandemic, but it also turns into a mental health challenge.
Yeah.
Because everyone is consumed spending their days worrying and thinking, am I going to get it? Is my brother or sister going to get it?
Yeah.
And then what happens when you do get it? You know, like I think that there's also like this shame that comes from actually getting or like revealing that you've gotten it, like you were weaker or something, and it's just like that's not a real thing. I do want to.
Luckily, that stigma is being lifted.
I think so. The more people that get it,
the more people that get it and courageously share their experiences.
Yeah.
I want to ask. This is the first time we've had 2 people on conversation with us. Do you guys watch the same TV shows?
You know, we haven't even watched much TV since we got here.
We're trying to just finish some songs, like, you know, for our project. But Ella and I, in general, we're kind of out of sync. Yeah. I watch the same TV shows as my girl. Yeah. But we're a little bit out of sync, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we're watching Curb.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few common things. Yeah, we watch Curb. I'm currently watching this Italian show that Dave has seen before, but in general, our entertainment habits are pretty different.
Alan listens to podcasts. I don't listen to podcasts.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I make my exceptions. But I'm not like, I don't consume podcasts the way most people do. Yeah. But we usually listen to the same music at the same time. Like, you know, when J Electronica came out.
Sure.
Obviously, we were consumed by that. In fact, I want to ask you guys where you stand on the Rosenberg J Electronica controversy.
Okay, this is sort of like have
you had this conversation on the podcast yet?
No, not on the podcast. No. But
all right, so we got 4.
This is an exclusive.
4 hip hop Jews.
Yeah.
4 hip hop Jews, and I want to have a roundtable about this because I have my opinion, but I want to know what you guys think about those rhymes, those bars.
I think that it's not. I don't think that Rosenberg is wrong at all. I think that he feels the way he feels. I thought that when he put out the second statement saying that as a Jew, this is how he feels, like all that stuff, totally ride for that, absolutely. The other thing is, I don't think that J Electronica is wrong because my feeling is that he might not mean it to be how Peter interprets it, right? And so I know it's like a little bit of a weak response of me to be like, hey, like I think that everybody's right, but it also like we're addressing things in the wrong way. But that's sort of where I stand, where I don't take it personally when Jay Electronica says like synagogues of Satan, but I'm also not. I mean that.
And I think it's the same thing. You know, there's been years and years and years of like Jewish lawyer or like those type of rhymes,
Right.
And
Stack
it's like
chips like Hebrews. All
yeah,
that.
all that. And it's funny. Like we've talked with Styles and Sheik about that, and it's just like there's no offense behind it. There's sort of this idea of like that's just the nomenclature that they have, and it's like
It's a trope. It's just a trope.
Yeah.
Right. Have you guys ever had Rosenberg on the podcast?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
He's a cool dude though, right?
He's a great
gets
dude.
it.
He's you know, we've lived in the same neighborhood for, you know, 13 years.
Sure.
We've been friends for a long time, and he's a very thoughtful guy, as is his brother Nick. And I thought the best thing, honestly, was that when Jay was like, we need to have this discussion on some type of platform, and Peter's like, I have a daily one every morning on Hot 97. So
I know.
That would be cool.
Funny.
I'm not sure that's going to happen. But what is your guys' like take on it?
You go first.
Okay, my take is this. I think you know, as white Jews, right, who grew up listening to hip hop and for whom hip hop, you know, literally gave us a career, shaped our lives,
our values.
Yeah, I think it's important to never lose sight of the fact that we're still, you know, guests in the house of hip hop.
For sure.
And hip hop is primarily about the Black experience. And as a listener, it's important to keep in mind the roles that the Muslim religion played, you know, in the community. So, because some people were offended that Farrakhan was on the intro, because obviously Farrakhan has said some sus things.
Sure.
But, you know, it would be very nearsighted to forget how much of a role Farrakhan played in hip hop. I mean, we all remembered. I have a clear memory of when he brokered peace between Common and Ice Cube.
Yeah,
but deeper than that, what role the 5%ers and the Nation of Islam played for that community.
Yeah, it gave a backbone to a community that was
uplifted.
Yeah, it uplifted a community that was left abandoned by the rest of society. So I think we have to be respectful of that. And I also don't think that Jay Electronica, I don't think his bars are anti-Semitic. I think his bars are very historically specific. He's talking about, you know, esoteric, cryptic shit. You know,
well, no, he's got. I'm sorry to cut you off on that. He definitely has not anti-Semitic. He's got an anti-Zionist bar in there.
Yeah, and you know,
which, by the way, I'm down with.
Yeah, of course.
And by the way, so is Peter.
At times, but like he's talking about specific like centuries and shit. Like it's historical lyrics, and I'm not really down with the reaction of like from the moment there's the word synagogue in a rap to immediately say, oh, this is anti-Semitic.
Right. First of all, look, we're all Jews in hip hop, and we all love this. It's not this isn't a hobby for us. This shaped our worldview, and it also shaped our way of growing up. It shaped our value systems. It shaped our taste. And like Alain said, we're all of us around this virtual table keenly aware that we are and forever will be guests that are paying homage to something that changed our lives, even though we know it inside out, and even though, you know, we in a lot of, you know, you guys hang out with the Locks every week, you earn those stripes,
right?
But we all know where we stand.
100%.
First of all, me personally, I don't know, maybe this is some weird self-hating shit that I need to take up with my shrink. I love hearing these Jews are Satan bars. I love them. I don't know why. I like them. It's fucked up. I like hearing it. Number one, I like them. But I think
maybe Dave is anti-Semitic.
Yo, I mean, I'm anti-Zionist. So
yeah.
Oh no, but same.
I'm not
same.
But Yeah, so JLX can criticize Israel all he wants. We're down with that. I don't think JLX hates Jews. In fact, he was married to, or at least
he was messing around with Rothschild. Yeah,
he was up in there for a while. So I don't think. But I think there's two things. Alain is super right in saying that, with all the positives that the Nation of Islam, the 5%ers, brought to the hip hop community and the inner city community, if a couple of borderline anti-Semitic bars are collateral damage to that, there's still a greater good we can appreciate. Number one. Number two, I think it's also important to realize that Jay Electronica with his album is taking us back to a lineage that goes, all the way back to X-Clan and Brand Nubian and Rakim, and then for me more recently, my favorite rapper probably of all time, Tragedy Gaddafi, and Killer Priest, right? I went back and listened to Killer Priest. It's Jay Electronica is Killer Priest's son. It's like if you go back and listen to the Heavy Mental album, it's so Jay Electronica. It's the same thing on this record. It's the same thing. So I don't know. I just feel like in that context, what he says is actually not that. It's not that shocking and offensive.
No, but
by the way, the same way that like Ilhan Omar is allowed to criticize U.S. lobbies for Israel, it's there shouldn't be this automatic, red flag.
Right.
Get Ilhan Omar on the podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, I think
we can say that while still being okay with our Jewish identity. It's important to not react with like an automatic red flag, right? Like on some.
But I really appreciate Rosenberg's candor.
Yeah, because it's honest.
Because it's honest. It comes from the heart, and the thing is, like, even Rosenberg, like I sometimes I find him a little more conservative than I am, and a little less. He's got maybe a little less sense of humor in terms of like the ignorant shit. Like I might enjoy it a little more than him, but this is it takes a lot of courage to write what he wrote, and he really, it was really beautifully honest the way he came at it.
For sure.
Yeah.
You want to know?
Shout out to Peter. That's the homie. Like 100%.
Hell yeah, that's
absolutely.
My boy.
Shouts to Peter. You know what's a funny sort of side effect to doing a podcast called Two Jews and Two Black Dudes Review the Movies, which by the way, Styles came up with the name, is that you have all of these Locks fans who might be new to us or might have very strong beliefs, just period. But they're just like, you mean two black dudes and two fake Jews? And we're like, I don't even know how.
Yeah, I'm like, we had a bar mitzvah, but whatever.
Wait, why would they call you guys that?
Because the whole 12th tribe and like, you know.
Blacks are the real Jews.
I like
and
that.
And so we're like the Edomites and.
Yeah, and there's this.
That's cool.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Oh, no. I love it every time.
That.
So maybe maybe Dave and I are on the same level in that, like,
Yeah, maybe they're not. By the way, who knows? We could. Maybe we are the not the right ones.
Yeah, just culturally, we are the Jewish ones.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're going to look at a Merriam-Webster.
Jews, but maybe we're not the real Israelites. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, they're probably more biblical than us.
I'll take that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, and we're just like, people get so mad about it, and we're like, we didn't even come up with the name. I don't know what to tell you.
But it's a very entertaining name, and also such a brilliant premise for a pod, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
Park, man.
Yeah, I think in this new day and age where we're all separated, through this quarantine, we're gonna have to, I think, take advantage of that Netflix Chrome extension that they have.
Yeah, the party thing.
Oh yeah, so you can like watch a movie with your friends, right?
Yeah,
correct.
So we are going to do that for Two Jews and Two Black Dudes.
Yeah. And you can pause it and like have conversations, and there's like a chat element to it too. I mean, it's great. Have you guys thought now as live performers how you're going to, at least in the next couple months, if you want to do
survive?
Well, yeah, or perform.
Yeah, maybe you are A-Trak, are you going to
First of all, we're stressed.
Are you going to bring back Turntable
bro.
FM?
We're stressed. I'm sorry?
Are you going to bring back Turntable FM?
Oh man, Turntable FM. I mean, the intention was good, but that was always kind of bogus.
First of all, as live performers, we're stressed. I remember last week, Alain wrote me and he was like, "Dude, this is this is going to hurt the bag.
Yeah.
And it's a true concern for people like us who don't really make money off of royalties. This is our sole source of income. So obviously it's a huge source of stress. But what we'll do is, we'll do a lot of live streaming. I don't know if it'll be remunerated, and I don't care for now. I just want to get to the studio with P and do some live streaming, and A-Trak's going to do a bunch, and me and A-Trak, because we're working on some stuff together. So we were just starting some songs yesterday. So
we got a couple that are already almost done. But I honestly, I think we're lucky to be the types of performers that can do things for the camera, period. There's honestly no shade, but there's plenty of DJs that are kind of boring to watch if they just put a GoPro in their bedroom. I'm lucky to be Mr.
No, but like that's one thing. But like even if you were more boring to watch, like I got a DM from a cellist, and she was like, "Yo, I'm a professional cellist.
Yeah,
I'm out of work. Can I come play on one of your songs?"
Whoa.
Like, there's a lot of people. No, but I'm just saying, like, we're still like front-facing artists.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the guitar tech? What about
everybody who just got laid off at the Met Opera, everybody who got laid off at everywhere else.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
so if anything, like, if there's proceeds from streaming performances, it should go to like the support staff first and foremost.
For real, man. Like, because shout out to all the crews and the front of house engineers, the monitor engineers.
All the way down to the concession stands, everything.
Yo, it's like, it's so hurtful for all that sort of that industry, or that sector, I should call it.
Absolutely.
And the thing that's worrisome about whether it be some of the local DJs, by the way, and to use the example I just gave, the concession stand, there's a lot of cash only, cash paid people in the industry who
such a good point.
Already starting to worry about, the relief stuff that's starting to be rolled out, because, they're talking about these measures to support people who have lower income, but a lot of people in our industry are paid cash, so they can't even prove they have low income. Do you know what I mean?
They can't prove they have any income. And then it's like, when they don't want to go to the man, quote unquote, because it's like
they expose
expose the fact that, some of them don't pay tax, and like it's all under the table stuff. So it's very, very worrisome.
I think in the large scale, this whole crisis is really showing us all the holes in a capitalist system, because so much of capitalism functions with this sort of running and gunning mentality. Like, you just keep shit moving, companies open and fold and get huge investments of millions and billions, and then shut down and da-da-da. And if there's constant forward motion, people think everything is okay. And these holes have been there all along, whether it be lack of healthcare or lack of
universal basic income,
or even something like any type of musicians guild that would give benefits to all the staff that we were just talking about. But until there's a crisis, things are sort of afloat. So everything is this like fast forward motion. When something like this hits, you just see how dangerous things have been. Because if you look at on the hospital and medical side of things, you're seeing that the U.S. is literally the least equipped of any country in the Western world. Like, you can't talk about America being this sort of like top superpower. And
can't you tell my brothers has nobody to talk to for the last 2 days?
I've been speaking to the shrubs. my lemon tree is my therapist.
Take a plant selfie.
There you go.
Oh man, I started it again last week.
Oh my god. So do you guys be honest? Do you guys have a routine? Like, are you working out, or are you in your pajamas still right now?
No, not in my pajamas.
That would make me feel a lot better about myself.
Not in my pajamas, but I mean, like, it's close enough. I wear a hoodie and like pants every day, but like. We do have a routine in that we are recording this at the same time every day, pretty much.
Amazing.
And so, like, it gives you sort of a basis, sort of a structure to what's happening.
Yeah, you get up in the morning, you make breakfast, you set up all the equipment, record, break down all the equipment, edit it together, both video and audio, Jeff does the photoshopping for the artwork, and it's become this whole machine, which is
amazing.
It has never been foreign to us, because when we started doing sketches back in 2007, it was the same routine, that we were doing then. And that's also wild too for all the people who are like, I don't know how to operate in my own home. And it's like, oh, we have been doing this forever. Nothing about this is new, you know?
That's right. I got a question for you guys. Yes. Are you guys going to do, I don't know how to pronounce it, Pradian?
Patreon.
Patreon. Yes.
Yeah, we do have a Patreon. We started it like a month and a half ago.
I'm sorry, I never even ever uttered that word before. But okay, so
Patreon.
Okay,
Patreon,
cool.
and we actually avoided it for
San Diego
for the longest time, and then a month and a half ago, Jeff was just like, why aren't we doing this? And
and so like we have like a good like baseline on there, but I mean, like, if anybody out there wants to donate to our
it is at
Patreon.
Patreon.com/ITSTHEREAL.
Yeah.
And so do your subscribers get access to exclusive content? Is that how it works?
Yes. Although this has thrown a wrench into everything, because we were going to do one extra episode for our Patreon supporters.
Yeah, there's different levels. Yeah. So like,
but now we're doing like one every day, which I think is already enough.
There were various levels and different trades that they get back for donating a certain amount of money. And one of the things that we had, and people were very much into this, was that they would be able to come and sit on the couch for a live, recording, whether that was with the Locks or with you guys or with whoever, because people love that experience. But to be in here is something else. Like when Jim Jones comes over and just like hangs out forever, it's just like a whole different experience.
That's so dope.
Having been quarantined or self-quarantined, it does.
Nobody's here.
It does sort of change the narrative, but I'm glad that we thought of this type of idea, because reaching out to people and having these type of conversations has not only been good for the listening audience, but also for the people that we call, and especially for us who are able to, just like honestly connect with people, because the two big things that have been our concerns in the bigger picture that have been lost really are community and culture. And I think, you get some of that with this. And I think as we go along with more, I don't know if it's Instagram Lives or, if it is a new form of Turntable FM, or if it is whatever we haven't thought of, those things have to be saved and continued for humanity to still be, a piece of what it was.
Yeah. So well said. Another roundtable question. So let's say for the next week of quarantine, each of us only had one album to listen to. What would it be?
I would do Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, which I know is not like, it's not like the coolest option, but it makes you feel good.
It's pretty good. There's a lot to dig into that one.
I have to think about this. What about you guys?
My like Desert Island album is songs in the Key of Life.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good one.
Although if we're talking about 1 week,
just 1 week,
1 week, I'm really enjoying the new Caribou album, so I would be happy with that for a week.
Bro, you're soft.
It's fine.
Dave?
Is there a Littles album?
No, I'm gonna say for the next week, if I could only bump one album.
Please say it's like Amy Grant.
Nah, yo, you know what I would do? I would go back. I would go back for the next week. I would go back to Wu-Tang Forever, which I haven't listened to in such a long time.
I've listened to it recently.
And
the great songs are great, the bad songs are
bad.
I bet you.
I mean, Gravel Pit.
Listen to as high as Wu-Tang gets on loop with the woo bass line.
I would say Wu-Tang Forever. I haven't listened to it in years, and that could last me a whole week, 7 days, and I would get into it, and
MGM, Dog Shit. There's a lot of good songs.
Dog Shit, yeah. Anyway, that's me.
I still don't have an answer, but I do want to say this because I meant to tell you this a couple weeks ago. Somebody was asking us. I think it might have been on Twitter. Yeah, it was on Twitter. I guess maybe we did like a Q&A session or something like that, and someone was like, "What recent album has no skips for you?" And I was like, "Oh, the last Chromeo album, for sure."
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Straight up.
Thank you. It's that means a lot, and we're actually working on a bunch of new stuff. I've got so much new music in the pipeline because we started our own label with Chromeo as well.
Oh, congratulations.
So,
yeah, amazing.
Thank you. we're rolling out, actually starting next month, we're rolling out a bunch of projects for artists that we produced. So it's like projects that we made all the music and recorded and engineered everything, and
super dope.
And we're releasing that and then there's going to be some new Chromeo stuff and a live Chromeo album, but a lot of new artists that we're getting behind as well. I'm super excited about that. So
that's really
there's
awesome.
a lot of new. Yeah, I'm very happy about it. I think for us, it's like an opportunity to be just like not only be the artist, but also like mentors and like producers for others, and just provide a platform to put out other people's music and have our sound kind of mesh with other cats. So
that's really dope.
In fact, this week we were supposed to have 2 weeks or like 10 days with Sleepy Brown.
Oh my god!
Do a project Chromeo and him, but then all this shit happened. But we're gonna do it later in the year.
What is your guys' relationship with Sleepy?
So we have the same manager. My manager manages Big Boy.
Oh well, right on.
Which has he been on the pod?
He hasn't been on the podcast. We're not sure if he likes us.
No, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
There's no real reason. It's just that
we were in Atlanta for 2 weeks, and we tried to make it happen down there, and it didn't. But
no, but that's not why. So we interviewed him for MTV a million years ago, and it went amazingly.
A million years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
It went amazingly, and then we were working on doing some stuff with him, and then I tweeted something.
No, I think I tweeted it.
You might have tweeted it.
Yeah, we went to Google one day, and they had a sign on an elevator, and it said "No rapping in elevators," and we said that's what Big Boy said that's what Andre said to Big Boy,
and so it went like wide, and Big Boy DM'd us and just put a crying face, and then that's the last we heard from him.
Nah, he's chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, my manager manages like Big Boy / also like Dungeon Family at large.
Amazing.
So we were like, let's do that. But there's other stuff that's coming out starting next month. So.
I mean, maybe we should announce that the Chet Hanks album produced by Chromeo.
Chet Hanks?
Oh my
Listen,
god!
guys.
Oh my god!
Chet Hayes exclusive.
That is very necessary.
Oh my god! Can you imagine? But I wonder if he's nice.
As what, a rapper?
I think he might be nice, man. I'm gonna go on a Chet Hanks K-hole.
Wait,
you know what?
Wait, you think he's nice as a rapper, not nice as a person, right? That's what we're talking about. Because I bet he's like a nice enough person. I guess I don't know.
I'm new to the meme. I haven't. But I don't know. I just.
Oh, he is not. He is not what you want to listen to as a rapper. No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
gonna like. It's sort of like the Apollo, like like sweeping you off the stage. It's like, all right.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like a lot of those cats that I thought were clowns, eventually, I'm like, they come on LA Leakers or Tim Westwood,
and then just
you're
go
like,
nuts.
okay.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so that's why now, like, I reserve judgment. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see the guy from Love Is Blind, who had?
No.
Oh my god! Like
he went on Sway,
and it was the worst. It was the worst when he rapped
and wait,
on the
wasn't there
show.
a thing that like people found out that when Shia LaBeouf did his freestyle, then people found out later on that those raps were like
he
someone
took
else's
them.
raps?
Yeah.
Where were they taken from?
No,
I don't know who they were taken from, but I saw that the other day too.
No,
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, but who were they?
I don't know, but then look, Shia LaBeouf can remain as a style inspo if people want, but I'm not gonna stand for him in the rap.
No, but I would give him
Agreed.
respect, even if this dude memorized 25 minutes of fucking Sons of Man or whatever that shit sounded like. I'm like, bro, like anybody that knows 20 minutes, right? All I'm saying, wow.
Yo,
All I'm saying
Shia
is, like,
LaBeouf
a
is
lot
going to
of
be the reason that Dave and Alan just like do not talk for the next 10 days.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, a lot of those guys, even, I was never like a big Little Dicky fan or whatever, but then I saw his Sway freestyle and I was like, yo, he's nice.
I
he's nice.
can't co-sign him.
co-sign that. Nope.
But I'm just saying, he can really, he was rapping his ass off on that thing.
He can write a beat. I'm not gonna watch the show.
Not
Because,
watching the
see,
TV
me,
show.
I don't know, man. It's like I'm in this place right now. All these cats that like I'd be like, nah, I'm not. It's like I want to see them prove me wrong.
Yeah.
But
I want to see them.
But I think it's because you used to really not give anyone in that category the time of day before.
No one.
Because you're from the Fat Beats generation of just like sunning people.
No one. I gave no one.
Dave, as
No
hard
one.
as we've all worked, the four of us, to be good Jews in this industry, right?
Yeah.
And have the relevance and have the respect and have long-lasting careers, Lil Dicky is not the same. Like
You think?
Yeah.
You know what though? He's a really good basketball player.
Oh.
I know.
That is- yeah, I have
I'm gonna
heard that.
sit Here, I need to sit down. I don't know. What you don't look. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But sometimes you don't know. You might see an interview with this cat, and he might just know all this shit. That he might just be like, "Yo, no, actually, man, like I came up on,
Afura.
Afura, and like the artifacts are my favorite shit." Actually,
No,
and
but
then,
that's not even a question for sure.
well, then he's dope.
I know the guy. Shout out to Lil Dicky. He's a nice guy.
So then maybe those. So then you know.
yeah.
Like, if
all
those-
I said is I'm not gonna watch his TV show.
Right. I don't. But see, my whole thing is I was such a. I'm sorry to say, I was such a Nazi about all those clowns.
Uh-oh.
And then look, even like I'll be real, like I was like I never was a Russ fan. I was never a Russ fan. I don't like the Twitter persona. He could send his security guard to beat me up. I do not like anything about it. I don't like the sanctimoniousness. I don't like anything. I don't like the raps. I don't like the songs. I don't like anything. Then I'm looking at him make beats on Instagram.
Mhm.
He's nice.
I know.
He's nice.
He also
He's good.
he lived in that same space in our heads for the entirety of his career. We didn't like it. We didn't like the way he operated around friends of ours. There was
Right. Same.
there was
Right,
this
right, I get
mystique,
it.
and then he
He
gets
came to the podcast.
yeah, sat down.
And he said that he was just in a different space. And like he had looked at old interviews that he had done, and he was just like, I came off like a dick. And so he was having this like real reflective moment. And so I think that allowed us to like him.
know, first of all, the fact that he even came to your podcast wasn't too cool to do that. It wasn't like, oh, I'm only going to do Charlemagne. You know
Right,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right,
Like,
yeah.
he came up to your fucking apartment.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knows what the Upper West Side is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, he probably does. But, like, I'm just saying, he was cool enough to do that. That says something. I'm just here. I just love to be proven wrong. these days.
yeah.
I love, it's almost like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, let me ask you guys
it's
this.
refreshing.
At
Would
the
you-
end of the day, all four of us are kind of nerdy types, anyways, and like we're not who you would expect to
Oh,
be
for
you know,
sure.
in the positions that we're in. So we have to champion everybody else that proves people wrong.
Let me ask you this
Exactly.
though: would you guys do production for Tekashi 6ix9ine
Ooh.
whenever he comes home?
Not Tekashi.
Ooh,
Nah,
nope.
that's a hard
not
no.
for me.
Okay,
no.
I would.
That's a hard no.
I'll do it.
That's a hard no.
Yeah, no,
I don't produce right now, but I'll learn for Tekashi.
Look, man, you don't disrespect Chief Keef. That's it. That's like,
there you go.
Yeah.
That's a
Or
no-go.
like the thousands of other things that he did, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, that's the one.
Yeah,
for me.
but you say that, Alain. You say that, and again, when the first couple of songs came out, you were liking those songs.
Yeah, he hadn't
Cha 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 Cha, whatever that song was.
he
Tuka
hasn't
and
disrespected Chief Keef yet.
Right.
yeah.
Well, guys, we
We
so
could go on and on, right?
oh, and
Yeah.
we will. We'll call you guys back another time. We so appreciate the fact that you guys.
Let me ask you this: Can I have requests? I have
Yeah,
some requests.
yeah.
Sorry. Are you guys? I have some requests.
Yes.
Yes.
First of all, and I want you to keep those on the record, please.
Yes. Yeah.
So, with the resurgence of like underground and everybody listening to Griselda and all that and this sort of underground post backpacker hip hop, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Coming back into fashion.
Rappity rap.
We gotta get Ill Bill on your podcast
But
because I spoke.
but the question is like, is Ill Bill ever in New York?
Ill Bill is in New York all day. I spoke to him yesterday.
Really?
He's in New York.
Wow. I had no idea.
And he's from Canarsie, right?
Well, I mean, I know he's from Canarsie, but I didn't know he was still
Where
here.
you're staying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the city a lot, and he is so. I mean, he's like my older brother, and he is so one of us, and he's got the same references as you guys, and he's a film buff.
Oh, crazy.
Like next level film buff, and his connections go so deep, bro. Like, he used to be an unofficial member of Onyx back in the day.
Really?
Well, that is absolutely something that we can talk about.
Yeah, so I want you guys to have him on some, like, the underground is back, and he's been the king of that, and I've been down with those guys. And also, like, have you guys been having some of the like New York, like the Brooklyn drill kind of dudes, like
504 and
504 and those guys?
We were supposed to get Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now that's not going to happen.
No, he's a harder get.
But been a big fan of 5EO. I think that the plan is to get him when he's more used to doing long form interviews. Mm-hmm. I did see he did one with I'm blanking on her name. There's a female podcaster. Star Brim. Yeah,
got it.
And so he was on there with her. And Chef G is on my radar in terms of music, but I haven't seen any of his interviews. So,
but you guys are so good. Like it could be their first interview.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
thank
I think that we've been paying attention. We do have a lot of friends around.
I'm not trying to call you. I'm not trying to call you guys out on some like, hey, you're missing all this. I just because we're all Jews living in New York. It's like I'm either going to say like, yo, get my boy who's like the OG Jew thug, or get all these new New York cats that we're so enthralled with, or that are so kind of captivating, I guess.
Yeah, I will say someone who is coming up, or not coming up. He's calling in for Quarantine Radio. Mike Geronimo.
Oh yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
So I want all the Diddy stories.
Yeah. So that'll be a good one.
He used to be. He was going to be Puff Daddy's big rapper at some point.
Yeah. Well, Diddy executive produced that second album that didn't really pop.
Was not good. Wait, how did you guys get in touch with him?
I texted him.
Yeah,
we've known him forever.
We're long-time friends. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So dope.
Have you had Royal Flush yet?
We have not. Still? No. Yeah.
You know what? When all this is over,
yes,
and everybody's got this sort of collective spirit of sharing and giving and sharing resources.
Yes,
we're going to start a fund for all the rappers that are that didn't have that many hits and that much of a long career, and we're going to start a universal basic income for rappers that maybe 20 years into their career are struggling and still need it. And I don't want to name names because I don't know who that would be, but like all those dudes that didn't have the longevity that we thought, but they're still our heroes.
And that impacted people.
Well, I mean, even going as far back as like T. La Rock, like I mean, like it's just like there's those too many people who have paved the way.
I mean, did you guys read the article about? There was a GQ article about T. La Rock having this crazy like memory loss thing, and then going to a recovery center to try to get his memory back, and it was all literally old Jews and him in some in the recovery center, and he forgot that he was a rapper. I'll text it to you guys. It's
please do. Article. That's wild.
Because he like got into like a fight or something, and there it was like some brain damage, and he literally lost his memory, and he ended up just hanging out with old Jews at some sort of home.
Man,
I miss New York, man.
Yeah,
I miss New York already.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, when Zabar opens,
we'll all head over there. Yeah, guys,
get a basket. Think of us.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Stay safe out there. Be well. Be creative. We love you guys. We appreciate you.
We love you guys.
We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, Joe.
Thank you very much. Hey, Nur.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Sorry, no, I have a new response to how are you. I'm weird. How are you?
I'm also weird.
Yeah, this is a weird time.
Okay.
Well,
okay, good.
Nur, what's
great. We're all weird together.
What's the most normal thing about your life these days?
That I think social distancing has been my lifestyle for a while, so that didn't take a ton to adjust to.
You were doing it before it was trendy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Indoor girls, cozy girls.
There you go.
The brand. Yeah, the brand is consistent.
Are you of sound mind these days?
I have my days. I think it's like I'm taking it day by day, good days and bad days.
Well, how is London reacting to it as opposed to like what is Boris Johnson doing? Because I feel like I've seen that he's had a very relaxed response to everything, where he's just like, everybody can get sick now, and then we'll deal with it
nuts.
later.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, he is nuts. I hope he doesn't listen to this. Because
He's a big fan. He's
I've been deported.
Yeah, he contributes to our Patreon. He's a $10 a month tapped in.
He is lovely.
Yeah.
I love crazy people. His whole strategy seems to be pretending as if nothing's happening, or what's happening is not that important. He talks about how he still shakes hands and it's normal and it's okay. But I think he's being pressured to take measures now, because now I've heard that there might be closing some like bars and restaurants and all of that. We're a little late to the party.
Same here.
Yeah.
But people are still out. I think what I've been thinking about lately is that ignorance is the topic more than the virus itself, because it happens on what we need to do happens on an individual level, and then
Yeah.
then collectively. So if you want to go out, you'll go out, and if you want to stay home, you'll stay at home. So seeing a lot of selfish and crazy behavior, which makes me question everything. But yeah, England is very relaxed.
We did know that there were a lot of stupid people in the world before this, though, right?
That's true. That's true. That's true. And Jinx said this best. It's like, I think stupidity is more concerning here than the virus itself. Not that the virus isn't important, but yeah.
Well, have you seen any friends of yours exhibiting like social activity on their social media?
No, my friends have been very, very thoughtful and smart, and taking all the individual measures. I think they've been brilliant and very inspiring to champion what needs to be done. But what I've been seeing, where I've been seeing a lot of people still socializing, is on some of the artists I follow.
Is that right?
I will not name names, but some of the artists on Instagram I've been seeing still, doing the party or traveling and all of that, which.
That's so crazy.
I guess it is what it. Yeah.
Like Eric and I were talking about it yesterday, about how even watching different TV shows, you'll just be like, I can't even fathom, like, being next to a person, being like shaking hands, like any of the normal behaviors of just like 16 days ago.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's all insane.
I mean, I take walks at the park. I live by a really beautiful, huge park in London, and I take walks, and even like passing by people, I can feel people's anxiety and not being too close, or and I can see in people's faces that there's like this sentiment of solidarity, like we're all in this together, but we're taking our walk because we need fresh air and all of that. So when I see people, traveling or partying and all of that, I'm like, what parallel universe are you in?
I'm glad to hear that you see the humanity in people, in their like faces out there, because the few times that I've been outside, it's hard for me, I'm being honest, it's hard for me to even make eye contact with people. I feel like we're both, me and the other person, we're cheating the system. Like, we shouldn't be outside.
No, I think that you're like assigning different feelings that because like you never really look people in the eye when you're like walking by them. Like, you usually like avert your gaze. You're not like smiling at people. Like, anybody who smiles at me on the street in the old world. Is this just
me, or is
yes, I'm talking straight to you, Eric. You never look at people in the eye. No, but Nur, I do want to talk about one of your walks in the park. Where the other day you texted our group chat and you said, crazy thing happened. I was walking in the park and a crow attacked me.
Yeah, and I'm very scared of birds, guys. You don't understand. And interestingly, because if it happened at a normaler time, I think it would have scarred me for life.
Oh my God.
And maybe I would never leave my apartment after that incident, or never go to the park again. But I think we live at a time when one bad thing happened and then another bad thing happened, and we forget about the previous bad thing.
Oh, so, am I triggering you?
I think no.
I'm sorry.
You're bringing me back to it. No, but like the constant flood of like terrible updates from all around the world, I forgot about that,
So I am
a horrible thing.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for reminding me.
Nur,
yeah,
is
I was walking at the park.
Is the bird?
Do you want me?
Is the bird's actions due to stupidity or the virus?
Wait, say again.
I said, do we blame the bird's actions?
I don't blame the bird.
On stupidity or the virus?
I'm going to be honest, Nur. Like, I love you, but I do not blame the bird. This is just a bad
Most
omen in general.
Birds are stupid, in my opinion. So
I think birds are wild smart.
You never.
I don't. Well, they live for 100 years, so I don't trust them. One.
Wow. Wow.
Two. I don't know. Like I was wearing no hats, nothing interesting. It's my hair. It's not that interesting. And I think it accidentally touched me and not necessarily like try to land on my head. I hope.
Yeah.
It's just that it was stupid and it did this and it terrified me.
Does it make you want to go outside less?
Say again?
Does it make you want to go outside less?
No. That's why I'm saying, because like so many horrible things. Normally it would probably, because like I said, I'm very, very scared of birds. But now I'm like, oh, okay, we move on because everything is awful anyways.
I want to trace, where did you first become scared of birds?
I do not know this, and I thought about this. And I think I should talk to my therapist about this too. So I'm going to make a note to myself. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, we're really solving problems here on Quarantine Radio.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to unpack it right now, we can do that too.
Are you seeing your therapist like over Skype or something?
Yeah, but I've always seen my therapist over Skype because my therapist is in Turkey.
Oh wow!
And I started therapy while I was in New York, and then when I was in Turkey, we saw each other in person, and now we're continuing our relationship on Skype.
Nur, you've lived in a whole bunch of cities. Most recently,
yes.
Well, now you're in London, but you've lived in Los Angeles. You've lived in New York. You've lived. And do you see what's happening on the news in these cities? There's a lockdown, obviously, in the entire state of California today. I think we're in lockdown in New York. It's hard to sort of like, delineate between full lockdown or can we walk to the grocery store or whatever. How does your heart feel when you see these things happen over here?
What I'm realizing now is that I have a lot of homes. When people ask me where I'm from, I struggle to answer because I was born and raised in Turkey, but I spent a big chunk of my adulthood in New York, and now I'm in London, which I'm very much super happy about. It's hard. It's hard to, I can't pick and choose which ones to feel most stressed about. I have people I love and I talk to every day in each one of those places. Also family in Turkey. So it's hard, but I kind of, again, like I'm trying to choose the silver lining or the positive in this, which is very hard to do.
And what are those?
Yeah, sure. So now I can talk to I'm going to go personal and then we can take it to the bigger level. But now I have time to talk to my mom and my family or my friends because I was working a lot. And I still work a lot, but now I have time. I can make time to make sure I connect with my loved ones. We're kind of, my job is ongoing, but we're all slowing down a little. We're all looking into things that can feed us on a different level, like reading a book and watching a show that we've been trying to watch for the last however many months, or doing a puzzle or connecting with family. So I like that aspect of it, and I'm trying to stay focused on that versus this is awful, we're all getting sick and everything is terrible, Yeah. So trying to keep my head up on that level, that it kind of is bringing us together closer. Like we're all doing the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Globally, we're all going through the same thing, which very rarely happens in anything. So I like the solidarity of this thing. And I FaceTimed with Carly and Harpy and Busy this morning, which made my day, so I'm very positive today.
Yeah.
Who was the last person that you hung out with?
Oh, that's a great question.
It's only good questions here on Quarantine Radio.
Yeah. I hung out with my friend Glenn.
Who we know.
Oh, Glenn.
Yeah, shouts to Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn. You guys know Glenn.
Yeah.
Yes, we went out to dinner, and that was still before we got the work from home email. So we were still going to the office, and people were still out. That was my last social outing, dinner with Glenn. It was lovely. It was a great dinner, and I always love hanging out with Glenn. He's a really intimate.
Are you at all hesitant if this, and hopefully it does all, come to a happy resolution at some point in the future? Are you hesitant to ever shake hands again?
No. This is going to sound slightly strange, but I miss human touch. Like, I love hugs.
Yeah.
I love hugging people.
Yeah.
I miss hugs. Even though I've been social distancing for the last couple of years.
Right.
I love hanging out with people. I love seeing friends.
Yeah.
So no, I will not be hesitant. Not in an Boris Johnson way, but if they say we can, I will do that.
Really, a bird should have landed on his head.
It looks like a bird already has.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I thought he got corona. That's what the rumor said.
Really?
I mean, the rumors were that Trump had already gotten it too, but then that didn't.
I
Yeah,
know.
everybody in Mar-a-Lago, was prone to it.
Yeah, I'm an immigrant in both of those countries, so I'm going to stop talking about this now, just in case.
How is your mom doing?
Keep my status. My mom is good. She resisted accepting this for a bit. She was at her friend's sometime last week. And I was like, "Can you just stay indoors at home?" She said, "Oh, we're not shaking hands." I'm like, no. Can you stay at your place? So now she's completely social distancing. She was on my mom is an Instagram influencer, as you guys know.
Yes.
She was on IG Live with one of her friends talking about like recipes and whatnot. Not that she cooks at all. She was still talking about that.
Wait, does your mom listen to this podcast?
Maybe she can talk about recipes and how she actually doesn't cook. But she's still influencing hard every day. She's doing that. She's probably very bored because she's, by herself. But, that's why we're trying to stay connected, and I FaceTime her every day.
How about your sister?
My sister and my nephew and my brother-in-law, they went to their summer house, which is like a little more secluded.
Mm-hmm.
So, which was very smart on their end because there's less people, there's more outside space, so they can, my nephew can have more freedom to not just be stuck indoors in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's extremely worried, about like what's going to happen, but I think everyone's doing well.
Well, actually, how is the Turkish response been? Because like Erdogan is he's an authoritarian leader, and so is all of Turkey like locked down?
Yeah, we're not in well, they're not in lockdown yet. It's kind of same as UK. Like things are closing down, and they're social distancing and all of that. I think the healthcare system is a little. Well, I have friends who are doctors in Turkey, so I know that it's not being handled well on that level. They're not taking enough precautions. There's not, they're not communicating transparently about the cases and the deaths and all of that. But, I think Turkey is a bit better than the UK in that sense because there's like clear communication from a higher level, and they're really like trying to get people to stay indoors and by closing schools and this and that. So they're a little better or more, they're smarter than the UK at the moment. But again, who knows? But they closed their borders to a couple of countries too. So if I want to go home now, I can't, which is kind of shitty, but not the shittiest thing that's happening right now.
How have you let yourself escape? When work is done, how do you relax?
Yeah, like what TV shows are you watching? What
are you reading books?
Are you ordering lavender off of Amazon? Like what is going?
No, I'm lavenderless, guys.
No.
That's the problem. I need my. I know. I didn't think this was going to happen.
We were talking to Abigail yesterday, and we made we were all on the same page with Abigail that you had like stockpiled all of the lavender that you could.
I do not have even one bottle. It's just like
that is a crime.
Shit.
Yeah,
I know.
That's the
I
real
think
tragedy.
I fucked up. Yeah, I know. I think we should talk about this and how upsetting it is. But What I do, I think walks at the park is the best thing that can happen to me. And like I said, it's a huge, beautiful park. So that I try to do that every morning before I start my day to really, perspective, sky, trees, great, nature.
Yep.
I drink, red wine and tequila. That gives me a lot of joy and, calm. I take baths, like long baths. That helps. And then I watch, so I have a big heart for British crime series. I don't know if we talked about this before.
Yes.
But like Line of Duty, The Fall. I watched The Stranger on Netflix lately. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you have, it was so good. The first episode is a little like, I'm unsure, but then it just picks up. And then I watched Safe, also on Netflix, also British, also like similar to The Stranger. So yeah, I might watch Line of Duty again because it was such a good show that I want to, go back to it. And then I read books. I'm reading this book from School of Life, which is a collective that speaks to all the issues that are relevant to modern life. And the name of the book is Replacing Religion. It's pretty straightforward. It talks about, replacing. It doesn't suggest we should replace religion, but introduces different perspectives to, the sentiment that religion provides for people, and like how, if you don't believe in religion, what else can you believe in, or what else can keep you focused and motivated or driven. How are you guys doing? Can I ask?
Yeah, of course. This is a two-way street.
Yeah, I have not been attacked
I wasn't sure.
I have not been attacked by any birds, but I also have not been outside that much. I think that I have failed in terms of I wanted to do push-ups every day. Haven't been doing that.
Yeah, I started today, though.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay. I did it once.
Amazing.
And then...
Amazing. Push-up challenge?
Yeah.
Push-up challenge. I was challenged yesterday. I didn't even respond. My bad.
I think Jamal is doing some sort of activities. The situation is how much I'm attached to fitness. But maybe you should jump on that train.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Jamal Jamo.
It's just much easier to be lazy. So that's what I've...
I completely agree, yeah.
I've been pretty active in FaceTiming people.
Yeah.
I think that's been...
FaceTiming people you don't know?
No.
Yeah,
no, that was old.
Yo, prank FaceTiming would be like peak quarantine. Like, that's like a real weird place to be when I just start prank FaceTiming people and just be like, hey, like, just checking in. I just need any contact.
No, that's fucked up. Fucked up. Overall, I think, we've been cooking a lot, obviously.
Amazing.
There's been joy in that.
Yep. The joy of cooking.
The joy of cooking.
And then also just like watching a lot of TV.
Oh, amazing. I'm actually going to cook this weekend, too.
Good.
So let's see what that's going to look like. But
are you, is your refrigerator good?
Yeah, my refrigerator is all kinds of full.
Good.
But I'm planning to make like some chicken stock and soup and then some dumplings maybe. Which
wonderful.
I got a rolling pin, guy, so I don't know what that's. Yeah, I know. It's pretty serious. What have you guys been cooking? Can you give me inspiration?
I've been making my famous salmon and papillote, which is salmon fillets in parchment paper or aluminum foil, as we have, because we don't have parchment paper.
Right.
Okay.
And then you add some citrus and you add some herbs and
zucchini and shallots and it's a really nice meal.
Aromatics.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's a whole vibe.
Yeah.
And then Eric's been making some chicken dishes, some chicken with vegetables. Some.
We had some pasta with a homemade bolognese. We've had.
Amazing!
Yeah, I've been gaining like good weight, so I've been happy about that. I just need to like work it off.
Right.
I think.
Amazing. I mean, please share your recipes.
Oh yeah, we should do that. We should share what we're reading eventually and what we're watching on television. Make lists.
Yeah.
I think we should make lists. All we have is time, there.
I'm just trying to turn this into a lifestyle brand. Like that's what's going to come out of this.
I love a lifestyle brand.
Our recipes.
Can I participate?
Of
course. Yeah.
Okay, good. I love lifestyle brands.
We just need to think of a name on the same level as Goop.
Yeah. Quarantoop.
Yeah, Yeah, that's not a good one, but yeah.
Nur, we love you so much. Please stay safe out there.
Same.
And
Same, guys.
we can't wait
Thank you for calling me.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you in person whenever this is over and give you a big hug.
I know, and maybe we can FaceTime this weekend or Google Hangout.
That would be wonderful.
You know what we should do? We should watch a thing on Netflix Party.
That'd be fun too.
And we should watch The Crow.
No.
What if we did it with Shiv and David?
Maybe. I also FaceTimed Shiv, which was really fun while he was watching the news, guys.
Yo, Shiv's skin looks so good.
All he does is still watch the news.
That's all he does. It's all he does. But shout out to you, Nur. Shout out to David. Shout out to Shiv.
Shout out to you guys.
And be well, and we'll be checking in. All right.
Same.
All right. Thanks, Nur.
Lovely hearing your voices.
You
Bye,
too.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Clark, how are you doing?
Locked in.
Yeah, man. It's been a lot. Has it fully realized in your brain?
Yeah, but I saw it from about a month ago. I was trying to explain what was going to happen.
In what way?
Once I realized, well, maybe it might have been a little longer. Once it first started, I'm talking January, when they started saying that other places were getting it.
Mm-hmm.
I was clear that it was going to get here and it was going to be bad here because we live in a very arrogant society.
Yep.
And then we have a president who he might be 50 times the amount of arrogance that the average American person exudes. He's on a path to totally destroy. So I knew it was going to come. I knew it was going to be this way. I knew it was going to hit hard. And I knew that the people that populate this country, they weren't going to think it was serious.
And given that you had this type of premonition, what did you do to sort of make sure you and your family were good?
Oh, I started chilling. I started staying home.
Yeah.
Like early.
No
I
gigs.
went out for a few things. I went out for a few gigs, and then they were tight. They were private ones, and then I was like, yeah, I'm good. We could video chat.
Yeah. I mean, how are you? Well, first of all, what was the last gig that you actually did?
On March 9th, I did a gig for 100 people for Ronnie Five.
Yeah. And did you have reservations then about people trying to shake your hand, people trying to get in your proximity?
Oh no, I stayed in the booth.
Yeah.
For the whole time.
And
I waved.
Yeah. And now that you've been home, are you fully engaged with the news, or are you trying to sort of keep that at arm's length?
No, I am engaged, but I read the real news in between the news. So I don't listen to Trump, saying that it's a Chinese disease. My God. How divisive is that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's we were watching Cuomo, who's been absolutely fantastic. In
that he gives
amazing.
Actual
he's amazing, but
updates.
His father was amazing.
Yeah,
so
both of them. Amazing. And his press conferences have been to the point. They've been facts. They haven't been and then CNN, which we were watching, switched over to the White House, and all of a sudden you see Trump and his stooges up there, and it's the Chinese virus. It's pointing out
different journalists that they don't fuck with.
Yeah,
and
shitting on them, and
there was a woman yesterday who asked if it's okay to call Chinese food.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
it's and that's been all it. As much as you try to avoid it, it sort of comes back into your life,
Yeah, well, I think America on a whole shouldn't be surprised by him. He's proven regularly to be quite racist.
Yeah.
So this is of no surprise to me. I just find it really, really trying that the powers that be that stand next to him allow him to cross out the word corona to say Chinese. Like they make a speech, it says corona, he crosses out the word. Like literally.
Yeah. No, I saw the pictures.
And I feel no president is a president by himself. And I feel like they're allowing him to president by himself in certain instances. He's just going too crazy. He knows nothing. One day he says it's an incredibly serious disease that we have under control. And then the next day he says we don't have this under control because he didn't know. He didn't know anything.
No.
He still doesn't know anything.
Nor does he
He's reading
care.
from a paper.
Right.
No, he definitely doesn't care. He definitely doesn't care.
And just as complicit.
I mean, look, we can go back to him running for president. Like, I knew he didn't want to be president. He wanted to be something else that he thought the president was. He thought the president was the boss of the United States.
Right.
And it's not. So he gets this job, and it's not what he wants it to be. And it drives him crazy.
And just as complicit are the people who are around him on a daily basis, the people, the rest of the senators in Congress who are, just giving him this platform. Everybody who's a yes man and yes woman up there. It's really tragic.
Yeah, but he's picking and choosing who stands next to him because he knows at least 70-80% of them don't want to agree with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. How have you been passing the
one?
Sorry?
Huh?
How have you been passing the time while you've been inside?
I'm a DJ and a producer, so I'm hitting drum machines.
You're locked in. You're proverbially locked in. You're metaphorically locked in. You are locked in, like doing work.
I saw that you were going back and forth with Ninth Wonder.
Yeah, what happened was him and I do something called Duce Remixer, and our Duce Remixer got canceled. And when at the last Duce Remixer, I played him about 30 samples that I told him I was gonna mess with, and I've already got through 20. And he's like, "Yeah, pass those."
So, so you're working.
Yeah, I can't do nothing. I've never been able to just do nothing. I'm inspired by breathing, so because I'm breathing every day, I can do things. I can figure it out. I can be creative, and And the thing I'm easily most creative at is music. So
unquestionably.
So,
and Clark,
here's what's driving people crazy, right? People don't really have an issue being home. They have an issue being told you have to be home.
Right. Well, because there's a whole anxiety that comes from that, right? It's like, well, then something's wrong. Like, it's not how do you fill your time. It's like there's something that is happening that is so huge that I can't understand it. So even just like the idea of, Eric and I went to the grocery store 2 nights ago and we couldn't find chicken at 4 different grocery stores. Mm-hmm. And like, we've never had to deal with in America where you can get anything at any time having limits on your life. Yeah. And so that is like a very...
Here's the thing. We have. And it's just like we're not remembering it because it didn't last this long. You have to remember when there were storms and when there were blackouts, people were hoarding. Yeah. So it's not that we didn't. It's just that nobody really knows the end of it. The lights are going to come back on. The storm will pass. People don't know the ends of it. Right. So that's why.
But also, I mean, like, there is a psychological thing when you look outside and it is 60 degrees out. And it's like, when you know that a storm is approaching and you see the map, people can understand that. When people look outside and they're like, okay, well, there aren't any symptoms that I can look at somebody else and say this person obviously has it until they start showing symptoms like 5 to 12 days later. Like that's what's sort of like fucking with people's heads, I think. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, well, I feel fine. Why can't I go have a picnic with 12 of my friends in the park and like share food? And then 5 days later, it turns out that 1 to 2 to 12 of them are now sick. It's just like there's a whole thing that, and I think that, speaking to the arrogance, is like, a lot of people respond to the news and or ignore the news because they think that they know better, and so it's just like it's a re-education of people needing to understand that science is like a real thing.
Yep.
And that sometimes you need to chill the fuck out and just sit home, like listen to what smart people are saying.
Yeah, it's funny how everybody wants a vacation until they're forced on one.
Yeah,
Clark, these are, I think we can all agree, some pretty dark times. A lot of people's moods are down. As a creative, if you're above your drum machine and you're putting in something to sample, what kind of mood are you in, and are you creating music that is darker, or are you creating it as an escape?
Let me make this easy, right? I explain this, and I've explained it a bunch of times. I'm from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, and getting past 21 was like a life graduation, right?
Yes.
So in my neighborhood, I lost 6 friends before they were 21. So we all believed that's the end. We're all gonna die like before we're 21. When I made 21, it was like, oh, so every day is cherries on top. So when I say I'm inspired by life, it's not about mood. It's about, is it gonna be good?
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I don't sit there and go, I need to make something dark, or this is gonna be dark, or it's gonna feel dark. It's whatever happens, happens.
And is there any type of music that you're listening to on your own outside of creating that you're just like enjoying in the moment right now?
I didn't switch it up. Like, I just listen to everything. And the reason why is because I believe there's a reason why everything was made. And because I'm a DJ, I need to know what was made.
Yeah.
So I'm paying attention. I never stop paying attention to all kinds of music, because you never know what you'll find. That's one. And two, I never know what I'll be able to use musically somewhere. I play. I'm a DJ, so I play a lot. So once this is over, can you imagine what party season is going to be like once this is over?
Well,
I would buy some DJ Clark Kent stock right after this.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Well, how much time do you dedicate a day to practicing? Because that's a skill and you need to get your reps in, right?
Yeah, but I've always been one who slept 2 hours a night anyway since I was 14. So the sleep when I'm dead is really how I think. But if the drum machine works and I have an idea, I'm on it. It don't matter what time.
Wait, 2 hours a night? Like, so do you take naps?
No. When I go down, when I go to sleep, it's 2-3 hours maximum.
Jeff, he is Superman.
No, I understand that.
No.
He's also God's favorite, but that doesn't mean
that he can't nap.
Yeah, he can't nap.
Y'all are fools.
Clark, how has it been? How is the realities of being at home 24 hours a day? You got your family at home too, but there's 4 walls and there's only so many rooms in the house, right?
Well, no, Clark has a lot of walls.
No, I get
Clark has
that.
more than 4 walls. He doesn't just live in a box.
I have a few more walls.
But you're able, and you have a backyard and things, so you're able to like get outside and sort of like breathe that fresh air, right?
Yeah. I have a nice backyard, and I don't live like, in the if you go to the hood, the house is connected to the next house.
Right.
Nah, I got enough space between the houses next to me.
Who are your neighbors?
One Asian family on one side of me, and a white family on the other side of me. And then
how often do you talk to them?
It's quite a mixed neighborhood, but it's spread out. I have some land.
Yeah. Are you?
I've been working hard.
Oh no, we know that. So this is something that like no one can anticipate, but you're here to ride it through. Your refrigerator is stocked, your spirits are up, and you got a drum machine, right?
Yeah, and the one thing I do know is that most people don't put this into thought. They should know every day. A grocery store, they get deliveries every day.
Right.
So going crazy and stocking up like you can't go to the grocery is pretty stupid because the shit's gonna spoil.
Yeah.
So you can stock up for 4 days, 5 days, 6 days at a time. But if you're stocking up like you're not going outside for a month, like you're not being realistic.
You're also not being a person.
I mean, well, that's how the fear is being built into them.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Like I agree. It's just like you can.
Do you think that you've always been measured and focused throughout your life, Clark?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's probably helped you in many ways.
But it's because of what I think and the way I've been for my whole life is every day is a gift. Every second you get to breathe is a gift. Treat it like it's a gift. If you respect it, you'll move a certain way.
How do you respond to people around you or that you run into who don't have that same focus and calm to them?
Here's another thing that makes that focus and calm work so easy. I don't expect things from people, but one thing, I expect them to be people. I don't expect them to be like me. I expect them to be people. So however they are, is going to be fine. So I never get let down because I don't expect much of them, but to be a person. So how they react to certain situations, that's just choices they're making based off of the way that they've learned or the way that they've been throughout their life. The choices I make are based off of the things I've learned and the way that I've been throughout my life.
Clark, we have a mutual friend. We have a mutual friend in Mayor. And
that's my boy.
I want to know, what is the last dumb argument you got into with Mayor, who loves a dumb argument?
We had a dumb argument about some T-shirts that I asked him to order, and he ordered them, and they're in his house, and he's like, "When you coming to get the T-shirts?" And I'm like, "Well, when you coming to get your sneakers?" So it's like we argued about the fact that I had something for him and he had something for me, and we can't connect because whenever I say, "Yo, I'm in your area," he's in the street.
Yeah.
So it's like we just can't connect.
You know what I really appreciate about Mayor? He is somebody who calls to check in, and I think that is a lost art and something that a lot of people are finding out about again now that they're so isolated. It's like, the power of connection and reaching out and what a little thing like that could mean to another human being,
Yeah, just a very genuine guy.
It's funny because we do that so much that during this time we really wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because we do, I'll call them and be like, "Yo, you good? Your mom good? How's your kids?" Like, those are the calls we have. 99% of the time, we talk about other shit. If we talk about sneakers, it's where did you get them?
Yeah. And can you pick them up? Because they're sitting in my house, and I need the T-shirts.
Like yeah, like he has the account with Lux Tees, and that's the only tees that we wear. So I was like, "Make me an order," and I just didn't go get them. But then he was like, "Yo, can you get me those Clots?" And I was like, "Yes," and I got him the Clots. But he didn't come get them, so we have to connect so we can make the switch. But
well, Clark, let me ask you this: a lot of people are making a big thing out of like, and I don't judge them whatsoever. They're like, "Hey, I want to dress up even if I'm not leaving my house." Right? There's something about the mentality of like, "Hey, I'm still like
getting this fit off."
Yeah, well, yeah, but still being human, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a routine.
Yeah, and like clothing makes the person, like clothing makes the mood.
Right, exactly. Are you still switching your pairs off every day? Are you still like trying to feel good about yourself from the shoes up?
No. I've been wearing shorts and sweats since I've been home. And when I'm in my studio, I'm always trying to be as comfortable as possible. So
just velvet robes.
Now, and who's coming over?
Right.
Who am I trying to?
Yeah, you don't got to impress anybody. Yeah.
It's not even about impressing anybody. It's what am I getting dressed for? If I'm not leaving, I might as well put on some comfortable shorts, cool T-shirt, cool sweatshirt, and a pair of sneakers that I could walk around in and be comfortable.
Well, I was thinking like, because Eric and I are doing this thing like every single day, and we are on camera, and at a certain point I was just like, I should pull out like my suit, like my suit I wear to like weddings. Just like, get dapper the fuck up,
Considering you guys are on camera, you should be fresh.
Yeah. We're trying that here.
We're not trying that hard.
You're not trying. You guys aren't trying. You guys have a way better collection than I do.
Oh my God.
That is not true.
Clark.
Your sneaker game.
No, our sneakers are at your house. We need you to deliver the sneakers that we left over there.
Well, hold on. As far as your comments, every time I see y'all comment on something that I'm involved in, yes, I really have to say that you guys' collection of shoes is just unrivaled by all.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Clark.
Like yours is pretty good. we
have
a way better collection.
Do you guys still have those 4 apartments full of sneakers?
Oh my God, Clark.
It's hard for the upkeep. Like the dust. It's a lot.
We maybe like 3 months ago, we went to visit our brother Dan, who lives downtown, and then we went over to Chelsea Market to get something to eat, and we ran into Caduce and Kim, who were in town for like a minute, as they do. They just sort of like pop up, and it's like, oh, we ran into them randomly, and I was so embarrassed.
My brother and my sister.
I was so embarrassed that I was wearing some beat up like Air Maxes.
They were black Air Force Ones.
They were not.
Eric had just robbed Leor Cohen's house.
Let me say something to you. If that's what you chose to wear, then that's all that matters. You can't worry about what the next person thinks when it comes to what you're choosing to wear.
Not even Caduce?
Nah, it's your life.
That's absolutely right.
He may make some questionable sneaker choices to someone else as well. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
There's probably someone. Listen,
wait till I tell him what Clark just said.
What I said, that he might make a questionable sneaker choice to somebody.
The headline for this is going to go nuts on Hip Hop DX.
Listen, there's probably someone who doesn't like Paris Dunk, and he loves Paris Dunk. So to that person, they may go, those shits is whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether they be right or wrong doesn't matter, because opinions are subjected to the person's thoughts.
All I know is that I wear Agassiz every day, and they look good every day.
There you go.
I say wear what you want to wear.
Damn, what the fuck?
Do you know how many people say to me, or should I say online, behind their keyboards, but those are whack, or this or that, and I'm like, well, they're not yours, so I'm not really worried about you thinking they're whack. If I like them, I like them.
I loved the fact that like you would put up a list and you're like, I don't care what you think, this is my list.
Yeah.
Right, because it's my list. It's not your list. I'm not making a list for you. I'm just sharing.
I thought that was so
because
great.
How do I get on the list?
Wow.
Now that is an Abdul. That is not me. That is him. I am a custodian of the list.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's the word.
When we break out of this quarantine, how hard are your handshakes going to be as compared to before?
I'm not sure. It might take me a while to give a handshake.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm giving everybody complicated handshakes. Like, I'm going to do like ASAP mob type handshakes for every single person I see. Just like 15-minute handshakes.
You know what I'll do? Instead of shaking hands, I'll say, "Can I see your I'm Corona-free card?"
There you go.
Wow.
Yo, Clark, you've been making beats, I guess, just to as that release, to be creative, to put in good work. Has anybody hit you like, yo, send me something good?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to any and all of those instrumentals that come out, and the work that's made from your drum machine to the world.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think I have a cool idea. Since I started making things, I'm thinking I have a cool idea to just put like a project of, just the tracks with somebody on them, but they don't belong to them, they belong to us. So instead of it dropping on one of their albums, it'll be me and them drop it, so we own it. You get it? Instead of like a label or something owning it, or instead of some corporation behind it, so we own it, we split the profit.
That'd be dope.
We just drop it. Yeah, but it's that's just a thought until I say, here, so and so, let me see what you come up with.
Well, listen, Clark, we appreciate you. We're sending all our love to you and your family. Be safe out there.
Thank you, brother.
Be safe inside. And we'll be checking in. We appreciate you, and we'll talk soon, all right?
And let us know when we can pick up our shoes.
Well, the mayor would help you with that, I'm sure.
Thanks, Clark.
You guys be safe, man. Listen, be healthy, be safe, and be home.
We will.
Yeah.
Thanks, Clark.
All right, guys. My man.
Shout out to Dave and Alan. Shout out to DJ Clark Kent. And shout out to Nur Ozdamar. Guys, as always, not for real, for real.
Sure.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.